learning has just changed forever. Like we don't really need to truly learn anymore. We just have to prompt it the right way. And
Please do not start by hand. Yeah, let the AI do the first draft. Speak with your voice. Have the first draft of everything to the AI.
welcome back, everybody, to AI with Bry, the show that's designed to help you learn, leverage, and lead with AI. I'm your host, Brian Dunstead, and every episode we're breaking down how real people are using artificial intelligence to solve real problems. Today, I'm joined by someone who has made serious impact in the world of data-driven growth. Ben Sufiani is the founder of Pirate Skills and a seasoned growth marketer who's helping entrepreneurs and teams build smarter funnels, understand their numbers, and turn data into momentum. Through his workshops, courses, through his workshops, courses, and hands-on consulting, he's helped countless brands and businesses simplify their marketing, amplifying their results, and thinking more strategically about their growth. And he's been doing vibe coding along with me for the past year or two. And so in this conversation, Ben and I explore how reshaping marketing workflows and why data literacy is becoming a really strong leadership skill. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Thanks so much for having me, Brian. Hey guys, I'm Ben. I'm a founder from Cologne, Germany. Yeah, and I'm interested in getting into it.
I love it. So Ben, we're diving into the first segment here, which is the learning. So you've been operating at this intersection of marketing, growth, data, and AI for a long time, especially in this fast-paced moving world that we're in over probably a year now. What's something that you've recently learned about AI that surprised you or shifted your perspective?
All right, that's a good starter. Okay, what really changed my mindset was that my product builder brain and my growth brain, they just kind of merged. And I was so surprised how long that took. A good example of this is, I think ChatGPT usage or AI vibe coding tools like Cursor or Claude Code, we kind of put them in a box to use them for one thing, like ChatGPT more for content generation, strategic thinking, and then Cursor for just product building. And those just combined. And now I'm using tools like Cursor as my marketing powerhouse. Yeah, and I built my products in there. But if I am building a marketing strategy, creating content, have videos encoded or edited, all of this stuff now is at my fingertips with a tool that can write code for me that I just couldn't do before because I'm not a developer. And that solves problems indefinitely for me. That's so fascinating and mind-blowing to me.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just playing with nano bananas the past week or so here. The pro version just blows my mind every time I use it too. So, it's so interesting to see that, and it's changing job titles and everything. Like you can do almost anything you want that you can think about now. I was reading something that says learning has just changed forever. Like we don't really need to truly learn anymore. We just have to prompt it the right way, and we can be an expert in anything. So now it's just about creativity and ideas. And I think people like you that are these idea generators, these marketer type people, like how are you seeing it unlock the ideas that randomly pop in your head?
I think about it like this way. Like my job is to give an AI the arms and legs to do a lot of the job for me. Let me give you an example. It was 2 days ago. I was giving a workshop and I was surprised by how well this works. I'm constantly still being surprised by how well this stuff works. So with ChatGPT, we built our story framework for a new SaaS, that we were building in that workshop. And I wanted to have a landing page for lead magnet. And we had this conversation about the tone of voice, the philosophy, the value proposition, everything we wanted to communicate. And it took maybe like 15 minutes. And then I put that into Cursor, and we had a first draft of a landing page in less than 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, to discuss with the people in the workshop, to get stakeholders involved. Of course, did we have to improve it? But I tell you, it was like 8.5 out of 10, and I'm really picky. Yeah, but once you put in the time, you gave it the arms and the legs in the right context, and that's absolutely worth putting in the time in. And we are talking about like the longest time I spent on that for a specific project was like a long afternoon. Yeah, this is not multi-week stuff that you have to do anymore and have to involve a designer and a developer and the CEO and the investor. No. You can go build something and then see how your actual customers or your users are reacting to it. And if they don't like it or something specific, you can work with them on the fly. And that improves the product side and the marketing side at a just different speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I want to get into that in a different angle in the next segment here, but like if we stick focusing on the learning piece, what I see this shift happening is that if you just take the time away from the computer to plan out what you want, like if you can really articulate your vision and do the planning piece, that strategic thinking, whatever that is, and draw the whiteboard, or maybe it's a Google Doc or something, just get those ideas down on paper and then give it to the AI. Like you said, boom, it just knows it and brings it to life exactly. But the more nuance you put into the plan, the better it's going to do when you give it to the AI, right?
And there's the trick about that. Yeah, it's to stop typing. Yeah, it's
yes.
Go to voice first. I have 3,000 words in my Whisper Flow app for the last 37 weeks in which I used this product consecutively. I had an outage 2 days ago. I was already an install button of a big competitor like Super Whisper because I see how much more power you give to the AI in terms of context if you just stop typing and use your voice. Do you have a similar experience?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's this dichotomy of, do I use the built-in Mac one? Do I use Whisper Flow? Do I use the one built into the model that I want to use? I've seen pros and cons of each of those, but yeah. The interface is going to change completely because it has to shift to this voice first. You and I can speak way quicker than we can type. That's for sure.
And we are willing to speak longer and ramble. And let's imagine you're a busy CEO running around in the office in circles, having your phone in your hand. You're not going to type that. You're not going to type that. But you take this idea and just have like something like a ChatGPT or Claude open, press the mic button. Doesn't matter which tool you're using, really. And then start ranting out.
Yeah, that's right.
And then just ask the AI at the end, hey, could you please put this bit of a structure? I want to send this to my assistant, to my product owner, to my developer. And then it will do that job for you. Yeah?
Yes.
And that's the biggest game changer. And this is what I really needed to learn. And then spending a little bit of time in learning one or two of the relevant tools that give you those superpowers. In my experience, working with other people, there are two types of people who just never want to really see the code. And like scaring them. I highly recommend that they use a tool like Lovable to get an idea of what this can do for you. Like ask it to do a landing page, rand it into that, and just see this magic happening in front of you, and you know immediately the game has changed. You have like pause the podcast, do something like that now, come back with Lovable, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just type in something like create me a landing page based on my website here. Yeah, for the upcoming webinar on November 21st. Yeah, and
1,000%.
It just changes you. Yeah, then people see this magic powers and they have this for a moment, like probably for like 2 or 3 days, this fallacy that now everything is possible. Yeah, the completely high of AI, and then reality starts to sink in, and then they feel like, okay, there is something, but I actually need to put a little bit more work into learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Into that, maybe pick up, besides Lovable, another more serious vibe coding tool, like I mentioned, Cursor. Yeah, I think that's a pretty non-tech friendly way, but techies will use it just as well in order to get their stuff done. But that allows you to build more workflows for your business, for product, for marketing, than you could ever even dream of in what you just thought was the peak of the hype with Lovable.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. I love taking CEOs or leadership through this aha, like their mind just was blown moment completely. And I think for me, like on the developer side, it's that weird dichotomy of like, I don't want to code anymore. Like I've got the infrastructure set up locally that I just speak the prompt and then it plans everything out, and then it fires up 15 agents to build 15 different things at the same time. Like it's going to go really, really fast. Like the super hardcore developers know they don't need to even go into Cursor anymore. We're just going into the planning stage and articulating that flow. Like it's just mine. Yeah, I don't know. I just love it.
And I think like the developers, they have a chance to really like 3x their productivity, but the non-developers, they were so far away from the product so far, and the ability to contribute to the product.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for example, you have a service, and you always need to go to your developer to ask for anything customer facing, just a little interactive demo or a free experience that you want to do. And I see more and more non-techies who invest like 2 weeks of learning, and getting the ropes, being able to work with what the developers have already built, like in terms of technical APIs, for example, and then build customer-facing experiences that make sales process easier, that make marketing campaigns more performant, but they would have never made it into the backlog to a priority where this is actually going to be built, because bug fixing and the next feature is always more and more important.
That's right. I completely agree. Like the backlog of years past has to go away. Like there's no reason some of these small little things can't just be created by the AI and double checked by a human before they go live. I mean, we're dipping into this leverage segment. I mean, you've seen firsthand how companies are trying to apply AI, where they're getting stuck. What does really smart, effective AI leverage look like to you?
I always call it, and many people call it that way, I think, the AI first mindset. You're building a presentation, please do not start by hand. Yeah, let the AI do the first draft, open Claude, tell it to create a PowerPoint presentation, go to Gamma AI, speak with your voice, have the first draft of everything to the AI. You are creating content. Let it propose 10 different ideas and be super picky and naggy about that. And for every process you do more than 2 times, think about it as a little AI workflow that you can do, that you can just store in a natural language prompt. Yeah, we don't have to overcomplicate that term. Yeah, but whenever you did something, you can just ask the AI to say something like, "Could you please write me a prompt so I can do this more efficiently in the future?" Bam, copy paste that to your Notion or wherever you save the knowledge about processes in your database, and then the next time you do the presentation, the next time you do the content drafting, you pull out that prompt and let the AI guide you through the process again.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's such a brilliant tip. Like it's do it the hard way the first time and then ask it to tell me what should I have done to give you the right input from the get-go. And it will list out the 30 questions. Oh my gosh, that's what I mean. People haven't even, some people I've spoken to haven't even hit that deep research button and let it ask the questions on the deep research. So do one of those 2 things and you'll be light years ahead. So
the deep research I use, for example, when I feel that the AI hasn't really understood my industry. for example. This is when I go by this process. I first ask it to build like a structure for a report, and I argue with the AI first with a normal, let's say ChatGPT 5.1, about the structure. And then I use the deep research, ask the AI to create a prompt for the deep research to use that structure that we just developed. And now it does the report. It takes 2 hours. It produces a 50-page PDF. I downloaded it, upload it again, essentially, and say, like, now let's have a discussion about this document.
That's right.
Yeah. And now the grounding of the AI is now deeply entrenched into whatever your topic currently is. And if you then have it create a presentation linking to sources and knowledge that actually exists, that is not hallucinated. Again, different league, you just replaced McKinsey.
That's right.
Yeah. Feels like that.
I mean, I see whole business models evolving around just that exact thing, helping you fill out the SBIRs here in America, the big, huge, extensive research grants and proposals for the government. It's just incredible. I'm curious, like, if we take a different lens on leverage, and I want to get your perspective, especially as somebody so deep in the marketing background. How do you see the leverage changing with the experience that you and I have in AI in like value-based pricing or just pricing as knowledge workers? Like we're experts in our field, we're going to market, and we know we don't have to spend the 25 hours on that report anymore. I can knock out that report in 2 hours because of my experience with AI. Does that mean I switch to a higher hourly rate because I know I can go that much faster? Or do I switch to more value-based pricing? It's such an interesting thing. I'm just curious how we leverage the AI in the future with how pricing should change, how pricing models should change.
I have definitely observed that customer expectation changed a lot. For example, it's absolutely natural to them now that after every call we have, they get a beautiful summary from me by default.
That's right. Right.
Like it ran through granola and it has some action points. And in the beginning, they were like, oh, Ben, you really took your time doing that. No? And then I later, of course, explained to them the process. And now they are like, hey, where's my summary? If that doesn't happen. So we have to be careful, definitely, what we now call, this is our default, this is what's included in our what we do. But I have always been mostly like focused on value-based pricing. Yeah. And then you just have to moderate that with a competitive reality. Yeah. And this whole AI knowledge thing, it's diffusing very slowly through the industry, but it's truly not widely distributed. And all of the areas where it's not that deeply distributed yet, you can absolutely hit value-based pricing, increase your hourly rate. Yeah, I would highly recommend that. Another way that I would think about it now is that I keep doing more and more is trying to productize myself into small tools. Yeah, that a customer hired me for before, but then now can serve a broader audience at a lower price by giving them expertise, access to my expertise through a custom GPT, through an AI agent that has my opinionated way of handling a certain workflow, and I don't have to move my lips anymore. Yeah, and that makes me much more scalable, much more accessible, and has the potential to free up a lot of my consulting time, as well. So I can again do the higher order work in seeing like, okay, how can I even leverage more? And I think we just have to crank that lever really hard now for a while. And we are nowhere near. I'm so annoyed by how slow I am. Yeah, because I see the future. I see it already, but it's not yet in my life. Yeah. Just to give you some examples of the tools that I'm building, like for myself, when I do marketing, I used to have like Google Analytics and then Visual Studio, like or Power BI dashboard and all of this stuff. And now this takes too much time. Yeah, for me now,
right.
I literally say, make sure that this and this data is tracked when a user is signed up, and build me a pretty dashboard that is absolutely custom to my requirements, that tells me how well is which campaign going. And that was just, this takes less time. It's much more specialized, and I don't have to annoy the data team, the developer team, and put something in their backlog.
That's right.
And crank on that. Again, now I have another lever. Yeah. Now the next thing, now that I have analysis figured out, let's say for performance marketing, let's say Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, Google ads, that kind of stuff. Now the next thing, okay, where's the next bottleneck? Content creation.
That's right.
And then you mentioned the nano banana thing. Yeah. I now have an MCP server with Cursor that when I build a landing page, it automatically also generates the images in my style, how I want it for that landing page. 2 weeks ago, no idea. All my pages looked like they're very text driven. Now they're beautiful text and image driven. When did that happen? Yeah. And then I'm looking back and I'm like, why was I so slow to pick that up?
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Are your users familiar with this idea of MCP servers?
I guess we've talked about it so many times on the podcast, so I certainly hope by now they understand model context protocol. But I have to point out, like, I was just watching a video by Nate B. Jones. He's one of my favorite AI guys to follow. And he was just talking about how with nano bananas, you can go to your data set and download it. Like, you download your Google Analytics raw data, you download your Power BI data dump, whatever your SQL statement put out, you download that data. You just give the raw data to Nano Bananas and say, I need to visualize this the best way possible to make, and boom, like that's it. You don't have to tell it what kind of infographic, whatever. It just comes back with an amazing way to visualize your data. I mean, I know I did it with just my resume the other day. I just downloaded my LinkedIn resume, threw it into Nano Bananas Pro, and I said, hey, make me a visual map of my resume in the style of Lord of the Rings. And I posted this on LinkedIn, and it shows, like, I started out in the Shire of RIT College, you know what I mean? And then I graduated all the way up to this fractional chief technology office. With this pillar of this and the valley of that. Like, it was so beautiful. A beautiful way to visualize your resume. We're quickly dipping into this leadership side of it because you and I are definitely leaders in this space. Leadership is changing so quickly. We've touched on it 3 or 4 times already just in the 20 minutes we've been talking. What kind of leadership do you think this moment calls for?
Okay. For me, what has caused the most aha moments, that is a type of leadership to me, like creating a pull effect. I want this. And what lots of people are not doing specifically for their industry and their team is actually figuring out a use case or two where no person in their right mind is able to say this is not genius. Yeah. Right. And when I showed this already to the people who are in the vibe coding community, that I went from this talk about the story to a 8.5 out of 10 landing page in 30 seconds live in front of their eyes. They were like, okay, I'm going to go through all of the trouble. I'm going to learn it. I learned to set it up on my machine. I know it's going to be annoying, but I need that. I need that for my work. I need that for my life. So establishing the use cases that make this non-negotiable is to me one of the most important things you can do to lead your organization. You maybe don't have to be the person who creates those prototypes, but sit with an expert, have them interview you, see what is really annoying to a lot of people in your organization, and then build a solution that everyone can now use by simply prompting Model X. Yeah, that's one thing. It's this,
but I find, I know exactly what you mean, but I want to like unpack that a little bit more for the leaders, right? Because I see like three major paradigms that I wish leaders would be doing more of. And so the first one is I think what you were teasing out to me is like, I want to see the true visionary at your company. Maybe it's the CEO, maybe it's not, and you've hired this other visionary person, but like, I want the visionary to be thinking really big right now, because the problems that we're solving just got cut in half or cut in a quarter, right? Like, we can solve these problems that much faster. So I think we need bigger, hairier, more audacious goals. That, I don't know. That's my first point. What do you
Can I
think
double
about
click
that?
on
Like,
that? Can I
please.
just double click on that one, and then you continue with 2 and 3? I noticed that I do this a lot now. I take my ambitious goal and I ridiculously 10x it, and
Yeah.
not to just reach that, but to cut off all of the paths that wouldn't lead, that not even potentially would lead to a 10x outcome. Yeah, this is why I love this idea with the big, hairy, audacious goal. Just take them, make them. These are your challenging but yet realistic 70-80% hit rate chance. Just ridiculously 10x them for the game you can play now in your mind. Among all of the 17 paths that I have, there's probably just one or two who also has the 10x potential, and it takes you to a normal hairy goal, but it takes you further anyways, and you stop getting distracted by manual labor work where there is no chance in hell that it takes the 10x goal.
Right. Right. Yeah, I love it. No, I think that's
I want
spot
to hear
on.
2 and 3.
I don't think people are thinking big enough anymore, because you
Yeah.
can go that much faster. I mean, the second one is the leaders need to be pushing this mindset shift. Like, you and I have grown up through traditional software development life cycles, traditional marketing paradigms, and those are all out the window, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, waterfall is probably back. The more you plan right now, the better your outcome will be when you actually bring it to the building piece, right? Like, the better your blueprints are, the quicker the AI is going to go, the better the AI is going to produce. So I feel like water, I hate to
That's
say
a
that,
fun
but
one.
waterfall is probably back. But I
say it
feel
too
like there's an employee mindset shift that has to happen. What's your thoughts on the mindset shift?
I'm not sure I'm with you on the waterfall is back, but it's definitely a fun one. It's maybe the scope of the sprint just gets so much bigger, yeah, and your ability to feedback cycle with your customers is a lot faster, yeah, and that will just create to larger sprints that in good old days would have been like a whole waterfall plan, but now it's just one cycle.
Yeah. Well, maybe the better way to look at it is, if you spend that week or two and really plan stuff out, you can sprint through these things every day. Like, you can do a 1-day sprint instead of a 1-week sprint. Like, you can go that much faster with the sprints.
The mindset shift I would recommend is, okay, get on board yourself with the tools, start practicing, and then like, I'm now, how ridiculous that sounds, I'm just 11 months in vibe coding. Yeah, didn't know how to program then. I've launched 3 SaaS applications since then. One last weekend, I organized a hackathon with over 100 people in Cologne, Germany. Yeah, and everyone was building. A 14-year-old guy won the hackathon. Yeah, impressed the hell out of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I, with my partner Christina, we decided, okay, we want to build this founder app called Tidewise, and we built everything from landing page, waiting list, a campaign that signed up 30 people. Then we built the feature, we built the database, authentication, Stripe payment in a weekend. And I was a mentor at the event, so I couldn't work all of the time. So I'm maybe at 12, 16 hours there.
Yeah.
And then I had this mindset shift of, oh my God, how long is a 9-to-5 week?
Yeah.
Holy guacamole. And then I looked at Christina and I was like, girl, do we want to maybe block one week a quarter to really build something, not just build, but build and successfully launch it?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
in a week. How ridiculous is that? And you need
I
a
support it.
couple
I
of
mean,
people who do that.
you build that idea list throughout the quarter, and at the end of the quarter you vet the best idea from the quarter and say, let's spend a week on this while we're on vacation. You know what I mean? 8 hours of coding, 8 hours of relaxing. The last point I want to get your thoughts on is this internal, you mentioned it briefly, is to go back to your internal teams and find the suck, right? Like find the parts that you hate. Find the parts your employees don't like. Find the boring parts. And so I don't think enough people are looking internally and doing this internal audit of how can AI be applied to each of my teams and how I can remove some of the parts that my team doesn't like or is slowing us down or is the bottleneck. Like, what's your thoughts on doing that internal audit of just spending a day and teaching everybody how to use Whisper Flow properly?
Yeah. So of course I can't do that, but I wish I could ask everyone to track their time for a week. Yeah. And then report back. But they can do it like from their gut feeling is fine. It's good enough for me. But I wish I would have the hard numbers. How much time are you in Slack, in email, writing documentation, fixing bugs, creating creatives, managing campaigns. And then I create a long list of that. Feed them to my best friend chat and say, which of these workflows do you think are most AI agentic friendly? Yeah, I take the biggest suckers, but I also do not want to take a process that is very high pressure, that needs 99% accuracy. Yeah, I want to have something that is high frequency, high demand, where we can run the loop a lot of times, and then see like, okay, this is AI agent friendly. We can build an easy end-to-end workflows to prototype that. End-to-end is a tool that allows you to visually connect different steps in a workflow and just have it executed for you. And getting in this workflow mindset has become my primary way of thinking about this. Which of these things that people wrote down is a repeatable workflow, ideally where we don't even later, once everything works, don't have a human in the loop, and where if we were to do it 10 times as much as the humans could currently do it, we would have a huge benefit for a customer. For example, an email newsletter. Why is the same email newsletter going out to all of my customers? That's right. Smart marketers, we do some segmentations. Good customers get this, and then leads get that, and potential people booking a demo, they get that. Okay, great for you. But why do they get not an individual company based on all of the information you have about them and their activity in your product? That sounds almost ridiculous.
Has to go.
That we don't do this. But no human could do this. And this is a nice workflow. Write a newsletter. Your monthly newsletter. Take that down to weekly. Take that down to the individual person, still based on your human template. I'm looking for those things that first would relieve my team members, but then at 10x be ridiculously valuable for my customers.
That's right. That's right.
That's how I think about it.
I love it. I mean, bottom line, leadership is the steady guide through this rapid change that we're going through. I mean, clarity, empathy, helping people move forward with confidence in this age of AI. Ben, thank you so much for joining me today. We've gone a little bit longer than I usually do, so this is probably one of our longer podcasts, but obviously you and I could geek out on this stuff for hours. I want to know a little bit more about Pirate Skills. How do people get in touch? What is it? What are you driving forward that people may want to know about?
All right. Pirate Skills was founded as a nerdy marketing community, where founders and marketers could come together. And of course, last year the world shifted. And now we run with the mantra: build, grow, repeat. And we just want to help create those tiny, powerful teams and just educate them to learn these tools, to learn the mindsets, but mostly the really hardcore to-dos. And if you if you go to pirateskills.com, yeah, you see in the navigation a build tab and a growth tab. And we have a complete free codex there where, for example, if you want to get into serious vibe coding, there's a step-by-step tutorials with take this prompt, put it in that tool, this will happen. And it takes you from knowing nothing to building your first SaaS. And even if you don't have that ambition, you just want to build a little landing page or an internal tool, you just need to do 2 out of 6 levels. But it's all completely freely accessible. And the community has worked really hard on it. I led that effort, of course. But this is what I would recommend, yeah, to get to know this stuff a little bit better.
I love it. Well, thank you again, Ben, for joining us today. Please, everybody, check out pirateskills.com. You will not be disappointed at the content that Ben has put together there. I've clicked around through it myself. It's some powerful starting building blocks to get you going. So
can I put in a little
yeah, please.
pitch here and a discount for your community? Is that okay?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So the codex is good, but a lot of people feel they have said back to me like, Ben, is there a bit more hand-holding option? Yeah, and for building and growing, every quarter we do 6 weeks of building and 6 weeks of growing, and we call those courses the Builder Forge and the Growth Forge. Just hands-on Wednesday morning for your time zone, Wednesday afternoon for my time zone. They just join and they get good and they practice something with me. And let's create a code like AI with Bri 250, yeah? So they get a €250 discount and we can throw it in the description.
I love it. So we will make sure we put that discount code in the show notes and a link to pirateskills.com as well. So Ben, I love your approach to growth, combining data, experimentation, and AI. I mean, it brings a level of clarity a lot of leaders and creators really, really need right now. Thank you for being on the show with us.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you all. Have a good one. Join me on LinkedIn. Yeah, then we can just talk.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. For those of you listening, thank you for being part of the AI with Bri community. And if today's conversation gave you something to think about, it would mean a lot to me if you followed the show, leave me a quick review, or share this episode with somebody building in the AI space. You can dive deeper into Ben's work one more time at pirateskills.com and connect with him directly on LinkedIn. It's Ben Sufiani. I'll make sure that link's in the show notes as well. Again, I'm Brian Denstead. Thank you for spending time with me. The pace of change isn't slowing down, so stay curious, stay adaptable, and as always, learn, leverage, and lead.
This episode of AI with Bri was hosted and produced by me, Brian Denstead. Produced with help from Nancy Velasquez and Kelly Lopez. Video by Leo Moralina. Sound AI generated. Find us on all platforms at AI with Bri and visit ai.bri.net for more. Learn, leverage, lead.